The Huntsman, Winter's War is both a prequel and a sequel to Snow White and the Huntsman, and it stars Chris Hemsworth, Emily Blunt, Jessica Chastain, and Charlize Theron. The film is about Freya, who after a tragedy turns into the Ice Queen and starts kidnapping children and training them to become huntsmen. When the magic mirror goes missing, it is up to Eric and Sarah to find it before Freya does. I did see Snow White and the Huntsman in theaters when it first came out, and I remember thinking it was okay, and I also remember when watching it, not once did I think to myself, you know what this movie really needs? A sequel. And after seeing this movie, my sentiments have not changed, because this movie is pretty bad. I mean, it's not an absolute train wreck, it has a couple of redeeming qualities. Probably the biggest one of those is Chris Hemsworth reprising his role as the Huntsman. I found him very enjoyable, and what I also liked is we already knew about his character from the previous movie, so it was very easy to latch on to him. I also thought he worked well with Chastain, and I enjoyed the scenes with the two of them together. But it was more so because of the actors and their performances, and less so because of the actual characters. There's also some cool action sequences that were a lot of fun to watch. And finally, this movie has some nice visuals, especially when they're in the forest. I found it had some really nice scenery shots and some cool creatures. Probably my biggest negative for this movie is that it is really boring. And that is a surprise for this type of movie, but I remember about 40 minutes into this, I was ready for it to be over. In the second act, there are a lot of walking and talking and rowing and talking scenes, and they are very boring because the characters and what they are saying are not interesting. And as much as I love her as an actress, Emily Blunt was not good in this movie. I don't know if it was because of her or the director or a combination of the two. Or maybe she was just miscast entirely, but it did not work for me. She had quite a few villain cliches, and probably the one that bothered me the most is that she would just have random outbursts out of nowhere, and it was pretty bad to watch. And I guess I should also mention the similarities to Elsa and Frozen, and while it doesn't feel like a complete ripoff, you know for sure that her and the whole sister dynamic thing would have never happened if it wasn't for Frozen. Charlize Theron was fine in this movie, nothing special, but what really bothered me was their attempt to explain why the character returned. It was so stupid. And the amount that she is in this movie and the way in which they use her, she did not have to be in this movie. It just feels like the only reason she is there is for the star power. And that makes no sense. You have Chris Hemsworth, Emily Blunt, and Jessica Chastain. The three of them can sell a movie on their own. They also have these dwarfs in the movie, and the only reason they are there for comedic relief, and all their jokes fell flat for me, and after a while, the characters really got on my nerves. There are a lot of illogical things that happen and weird character choices that make no sense and have no explanation, and the only reason they are there to progress the plot and add dramatic tension. There's even some weird character emotions in this movie. Near the end of the second act, something happens that would be pretty tragic, I would think, to people, and the two characters don't react to it at all. Also, the same type of plot twist happens 4 times in this movie to 3 different characters, and it basically takes out all the suspense in this movie. Overall, this is a boring, unnecessary sequel with only a couple of redeeming qualities that still don't make it worth spending money on. I'm going to give The Huntsman, Winter's War a C-. If you have seen the movie, let me know what you thought about it in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, subscribe my channel, or you can just click right here to see more.